Yeah, you got Deutsch.
That's what. That's the noise it makes.
How long ago did you get that?
A few years ago.
It's so good.
Yeah, I think
Thank
so,
you.
huh?
Thank you. We should all take our clothes off.
No. What is it with the whole clothes coming off? No.
That's what you do.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Drink some more and let's play.
Yeah.
All right.
Are we doing the naked podcast?
Yeah.
Stay on.
We're on. I think we're on.
Are we on?
Yeah.
I'm on this, yeah?
Yeah, he's on us too.
Shit.
Okay, just get close to me.
Like a duo.
Mm-hmm. All right. I want to say hello to my new friend. I mean, I met you like a year ago, but I didn't really like you then. But
Yeah,
now I like you.
no one did.
I like you.
Oh.
I only like people I know.
Yeah, that's
It's
accurate.
like a wart, he just grows on you. And you don't want to pick it because you bleed.
But it's Mr. Jackman, Mr. William Jackman.
Hello.
Welcome to this side of the of the country.
Thank you very much. It's been really awesome so far. It's been wild, but it's been cool.
Yeah. But you were in California before?
Yeah, I learned how to tattoo in California in Orange County.
Uh-huh. What brought you there?
I lived in California on and off. When I moved there in my early 20s, it was just for the fuck of it.
Yeah. Did you go with family or on your own?
No, it was just me and a buddy.
Damn.
Yeah, it was awesome. We were like fucking living in our car for a while. It was cool.
That's fun.
And then I started tattooing. Well, I started tattooing the right way when I got an apprenticeship in Yorba Linda under a dude named Roger Trawick.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that was in Southern California?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's like probably 40 minutes from LA.
Okay. I've only been to California once or twice, but I have like no frame of reference. I know LA's south and San Francisco's north.
Yeah, I spent like a very long time trying to get out of California. It was not my favorite place in the world.
No.
It seems like it's the promised land. How can
It is fucking not at all. It's extremely expensive and just, I don't know. It's not my thing. I like cold weather. I'm too fat and hairy for hot shit.
But that's what everybody says, that the weather's great there. It's the same. And,
But that's part of it though, is it's the same always.
Yeah.
And I think that's boring.
Yeah. I definitely love New England. New England seasons are amazing. They're the most extreme. I find like you definitely know you're in summer when you're in summer. And you definitely know when you're in winter because there's like 10 feet of snow every winter.
Yeah. So, and I think that's what's cool about it though, is it's you don't get bored. And I know when I first moved here, everybody was talking about how much they fucking hate the winter. I still think it's magical. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe in 20 years I'll hate it, but as of right now, I think it's awesome.
I love the snow. The snow is incredible. You weren't here for the snow apocalypse, were you?
I was doing a guest spot in Rhode Island for the snowpocalypse.
Did you get hit?
I fucking drove back that night from Rhode Island to my buddy's house in Wakefield, and it took me 3 hours. I drove in the middle of that shit. It was wild.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That was amazing because in Harvard Square, I found little homeless igloo huts that they made. Yeah, there was like right off of Harvard Square.
Really?
You see these little caverns in the snowbanks. And then I went and like ducked down, took a look, and there's cardboard all laid out. And I'm like, motherfucker's been sleeping in here.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's actually probably better. That's probably like the nicest establishment they've been in a long
Until
time.
like a plow hits it and knocks it on top of it.
Yeah.
But right down the street from my apartment, people were putting little flags on their cars because the plows had just plowed all the snow up into people's cars. Nobody could get in or out. And in that spring, you just saw people's side view mirrors just smashed all along the ground. It was just like broken glass everywhere.
I had to bury myself out. Luckily, it wasn't a very big driveway or a big area, but you have to shovel your car out and then shovel the sidewalk as well, so that people don't break their necks. And I did that probably a total of 20 times. And it wasn't light, fluffy, pretty snow. It just wouldn't stop coming, and it was terrible. It's the worst experience I think I've had.
And I can get that, like at a certain point of you're sick of fucking shoveling. There's a point of despair where you're like done, and I totally understand that. But like if you don't have shit to do and you're just out on a lovely adventure looking at it, it's really cool.
Yeah, I think I'm the most productive during this time in the winter time.
Absolutely.
Because I usually like to just do outdoor stuff during the summers, and also I can't really concentrate too much if I'm like really hot. It's just my brain is cooking. So
I'm
like,
right there.
The winter
right
is
there
like a good excuse to stay in and like get shit done.
Yeah.
Most productive then.
I like the heat.
Because I'm from Miami.
I'm from Miami. I guess that's why. But I think I'm physically like going outdoors and doing like stuff outside. I'm at my peak in the summertime. In winter, the only thing that I really end up doing, I think, is out of cabin fever, is paint.
Which is like productive, though.
It is productive, but it's kind of like a lot of it comes out of cabin fever, and just you can't go outside because it's 2 degrees. It's like it's 2 degrees.
Does that like start producing like the salty Walt paintings and shit where it's just super fucking acid trippy because you've just been inside for like 2 weeks?
Pretty much.
That's how they do it. I thought it was just fucking drugs.
Yeah. It could be a combination.
Yeah, probably.
Everything has the word hate in it. We're seeing a downward spiral here.
But you're working at Regen, but you're also working somewhere else.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I work at Regeneration right now 4 days a week, and then I work at Hidden History in Dover 2 days a week for Nick and Steve. It's awesome, man. Both of the shops that I work at, I feel really lucky.
Yeah.
I'm around people that care about tattooing, and that's the only thing I care about.
That's good.
It's been awesome. I was worried about it at first, just because I have a healthy commute to both. Thus far, I think I've been doing that for about 6 months, and thus far it has not been bad. Just because when I get to work, it's awesome. Mm-hmm. When I get to work, I'm around people that I enjoy, and I get to do tattoos that I enjoy, and it's been fucking rad.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing beats that. You know, just being around artists that you can get along with and relax with. That's the only way you can really stay creative, because if you're always like on edge, you just don't know.
Absolutely. Even if I worked right down the street from me, I've been at places where I was miserable, and it sucks. You lose it fast. You lose motivation fast.
Yeah.
So yeah, getting to be at two places that have been both very welcoming to me. I think when I first came to New England, it was difficult. You've mentioned that, like no one fucking. I kind of just showed up and was like, "Hey, I'm coming here now," and no one knew me from Adam. And luckily, I fucking met enough people, and enough people were cool that I got my foot in the door at a few different places, and have worked my way in, and it's been cool. Thus far, everybody's been pretty welcoming, I think.
See, I think your downfall was that you were just too nice. You came in, you were like way too nice, and you're like asking me like how I'm doing. You seem genuinely interested. I'm like, what's this guy want?
I think that's like that's such a New Englander thing. Yeah, it's like.
I think I remember
Why are you being nice?
I told Edwin, I was like, I don't trust this guy. He's way too nice.
I think that is totally a New England thing that I've fucking seen over and over, and it takes getting used to. Yeah. But everybody, like, because I am genuinely fucking, even if I'm in a bad mood, even if I don't feel good, like, I think it's important to like be kind to people and be cool.
Not me.
And yeah, no, New Englanders hate that. They think it's fucking super off-putting.
Yeah. They think you're being fake.
Exactly.
Yeah. They even if they don't want to hear what you're saying, as long as you're complaining about something, like, he's speaking his truth.
Yeah.
So it was like what we were talking about of I did like an experiment last winter.
Uh-huh.
Because we were talking about that. I love winter. I think it's awesome. But just from people watching and watching how New Englanders are, because I've lived all over the country, and it's interesting to me to like pick up on colloquialisms and shit from every individual area. So I was watching people all last winter, and you talk to people, and my automatic response is people think you're fucking nuts because I'm like, this is gorgeous. Have you seen how beautiful this is? And people think you're fucking insane. So I tried on a few random people. I was like, oh man, fucking this winter, I can't wait for it to be over. Am I right? And automatically they were like, yeah, like we bonded over the fact that I was complaining about a thing. And I didn't even like I said, I love the winter. But people love, like you said, complaining about something.
Yeah. The trick is you have to commiserate.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's it. But one thing I found, I mean, I grew up around this area, so it's a little bit different for me, but people who like came here for college or like moved in from out of town, it usually took people around like 2 years to like really find like a crew of people that they could actually hang with. But then what I noticed is it's kind of the land of long-lasting relationships. Like once you have like a solid friend, you're always going to have them. Like I have all the same friends from when I was a teenager.
Yeah. And
we still keep in contact. It's an incredible place for that. Obviously I don't have any other reference, but
I think that exists a lot. I've talked with a couple of people about this. I think that harsher climates produce a different type of people. And it produces people that are used to being uncomfortable, and thus they are tougher.
Yeah.
And I noticed that, like, I lived in the Pacific Northwest for a while too, and they had what they called the Seattle freeze, which is people are very polite, but at a certain point they stop giving a fuck about you. There's a wall. They just don't want you to get to know them any further than a very surface level, which is different but kind of similar because it's a level of closed offness that people from different climates than California have, because people from California are, at least I observed, very fake. They're super fucking pleasant. If they're not, like, they're either a gangster or they're fucking super fucking pleasant. And if they're super fucking pleasant, they don't give a fuck about you. They'll be super nice to you, but they genuinely do not care. But they'll act like they do.
Right.
And that is something that it does seem in New England, people are hardier, so they're tougher up front. But once you get to know them, they're fucking way cooler and way nicer.
Yeah.
Cozier.
Cozy.
Yeah. Like Edwin.
Cozy.
Edwin's very cozy.
This is true.
It's very cozy just sitting next to you, Edwin.
I am. I provide a certain level of warmth and comfort that can only be achieved by either a comfy blanket or a snug rug.
Ooh, snug
I'm
rug.
either one. This is the type of level of comfort that I bring. But William Jackman.
Well,
Here's
the tough questions.
Now we have to get down to the tough questions.
Please.
How did you become so nice? I think you're the nicest man in modern tattooing. I think your name should be like Smiling Will Jackman.
That's
something, because you bring a lot of positive light into my black dead heart. And it's conflict of interest because I'm trying to keep consistent with my black heart, but you bring a ray of sunshine. So tell the adoring public, how do you wake up so jolly every day?
Well, I don't know. I think it's important. There's like multiple things that I think go along with it. For one is in tattooing, there is a point where and this is something that's dying in a lot of sections of modern tattooing, which is toughness. And I learned how to tattoo around all men. Like, the first shop I worked at before I fucking apprenticed was a biker shop. It was fucking wild. And I continued to work around a bunch of fucking wild shops. And something that I always noticed was it's way more meaningful if you do. And in tattooing, you do. There are times where you have to kick somebody out. You have to be fucking mean. And I think it's way more meaningful if I'm super nice and then I have to get mean. You know I'm fucking serious.
I saw it the other day.
Yeah, you've seen it before.
It was a dark side.
And then also, like, I think it's genuinely a fucking thought process. I think that it is important to me that people are fucking nice and kind to each other. And the only thing, I don't have much to give back in life. And if I can fucking be really nice to somebody and make them feel nicer for that day or for that moment, that's cool, man. And then they have maybe the ability to do that to somebody else. And that's what you were saying of, like, waking up every day. I don't. I have fucking, like, the last year of my life has been shitty. But I still, like, I like being nice. I like it when people are nice to me. So, yeah, I think it's a thought process.
Yeah. Well, it definitely makes living your life a lot easier when you can be nicer.
Yeah.
I always think about that, where, like, if I'm in a bad mood, I can't help sometimes but to let people know about it.
Yeah, and you have to.
But if, if I just kind of, like, turn that around, then I end up, like, changing the whole mood altogether. But it's, for some reason, it seems so much easier just to be like, fuck you, Edwin. I'm tired of hearing your shit.
I agree. It would be better. Yeah, that's honest. But that's New England.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see. When I was in Florida, it wasn't so much that I was, like, a more polite, but I was a little bit more, I guess, outgoing in a way. And then I came here and working, like, in the South Shore and stuff like that, and being in the heart of the New England experience in the South Shore in the middle of winter, you gotta realize that sometimes you just gotta tone down the sunshine and rays for a minute.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
But it is refreshing to have an individual of your positive ray.
Well, give me like fucking 10 years, and I'm sure I'll be salty as shit.
Then I'm gonna really like you then.
Hell yeah!
It was funny. I remember it was like a busy day like last week we were working, and you were like, kind of like huffing and puffing, but no, like, outburst. Mm-hmm. And then I saw, like, a little kernel of, like, annoyance. I was like,
Who was it on?
I don't remember.
Somebody.
I think it was the day that was just, like, walking after walking.
Yeah,
and you
just
were
wild.
Cranking it. And I was driving home with Luana, and I was like, I really like that William Jackman. He showed a deep side inside, of himself. Like, he's really working me,
It's funny when I think all of us can be in the best mood ever. And sometimes tattooing's, it's weird, obviously. Like, sometimes you will deal with a customer and they're not even that fucking difficult, man. They're, like, honestly not even, they're being fucking cool. But you're already in a pre-existing mood, and sometimes we have a hard time palating them. And then other times a customer will be fucking difficult as shit, but I'm already in a good mood, and so I'll just sit there and just smile and be like, yeah, sure, man, whatever. Like, fucking, and you still you try to guide them to getting something that's not gonna be a regret sometimes. Mm-hmm. But, like, you can put up with a lot more if you're already in a good mood.
Yeah.
But I think everybody has that one point or line where it's like someone can give you enough shit where even if you're in the best mood in the fucking world, you have to be like, yo, dude, fuck off.
It's time.
Yeah, no, I'm done.
It's time for you to find the door. But that's the worst case scenario. That doesn't usually happen often.
I've talked with so many people about that. Like, I think I have kicked a fucking handful. Like, the first shop I ever worked at was 2009 was the first shop I ever worked at. And so that's 9 years ago. I think in 9 years, I have kicked maybe under 10 people out directly. I've discreetly and in other words been like, yeah, well, maybe come back when you have a better attitude or fucking your idea isn't terrible. But directly, it's super rare.
Do you have any comical stories about any one of those?
Oh, yeah,
a good one.
Yeah,
no holding back.
I think the wildest shop, I helped a couple good friends open a shop in LA, and we were in the bad part of LA. We were not in the nice part of LA. And it's funny because now that area got a Whole Foods and it's super snazzy from what I hear, but it was not when we worked there. And I think the wildest ones were there. We would have local ladies of the night coming by quite often, and they'd be super strung out. And I think one of them grabbed the apprentice by the dick one time.
Yes.
And it was wild. And that's the type of people you have to just fucking, all right, you got to go now.
He was like, do I have to pay for this?
Yeah. I think that one was on the house. Because it was weird. She was out of her mind. And she went up to him, grabbed him by the junk, and was said something very soft and sensual at first, and then got super angry and was yelling at him. I think she was still holding his junk. She was yelling at him, and he was just standing there getting beat red. I think there was the wild stories in there. But other than that, no. I mean, I think a lot of tattooing is not as gnarly as it used to be.
No.
From stories I've heard, anyway. Most of it is just aggravation or people being arrogant.
I think. Oh, you were gonna say?
I know Edwin has some stories.
No, I don't.
I want to hear Edwin's kicking people out stories.
No. Brian MacNeil was there for many of them.
I was behind you.
Oh, that's true. Well, I think that now, at least back then, it sounds to me like back then in the heyday of tattooing, from what I can hear, it just sounds like it was just a different level or a different type of people that were coming into the shops that you have to kick out. Here is a different type of people, but they still can get just as gnarly. I think the story is so repetitive that it just loses that aggro factor when you're in it, because it's I have to kick somebody else out, you know?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think that might be part of it, especially in street shops, because street shops are a successful street shop anyway is in a busy fucking area. If you want to do walk-ins a bunch, you're in a place where there's a shit ton of people outside. And we are at Regeneration. We are in one of those areas where there is a shit ton of people outside, and a lot of them are crazy. And you do just get used to it. So things that to us are just oh yeah, this friggin' guy.
It's Thursday.
Yeah, totally. And then you tell that to someone that is in a professional environment, and it's shocking. But that's like you said, it's fucking Thursday, man. It's fine.
Do you think you could ever go back to the straight and narrow world if you had to?
I absolutely could not. I think I would fucking lose my mind. If I was sitting at for starters, I've never sat at a desk, ever. I have worked with my hands my whole life. I started doing construction when I was 14 and did shit like that. So I don't think I ever really I don't think I was raised to live a straight and narrow life regardless, even though like I had super religious parents, but my dad was also like kind of a fucking old hard-ass biker dude, so he was super fucking cool and not a straight and narrow dude. So I don't think I could see myself ever doing anything but tattooing unless I fucking lost my hands in a freak accident or something, which in that case, what the fuck am I going to do? I'm going to collect a sick check.
I tried. I wasn't trying to like live the straight and narrow, but when I was painting more, I was being asked to like teach workshops, and there was the Realist Academy here in Boston, and I was like teaching regularly there while like doing part-time there and then full-time here at Regeneration. And I found it like stifling in a way where I couldn't be like as upfront to the students. Like here, if like one of you guys asked me, "Oh, check out this drawing. What do you think?" I would be like, "The eyes are fucked up. Like, get rid of those eyes." Like,
and that's why tattooers are so fucking cool, man. It's because they tell you, they tell you the truth, and when I ask, that's something that again, newer generations. I'm a newer generation of a tattooer.
I think we all are.
Yeah, I'm an internet age tattooer. Mm-hmm. But even in 5 years, people they're losing the thing that made everybody that came before us good, which is when someone goes up to you and you say, "Hey man, can I get your opinion?" Mm-hmm. I am not looking for you to tell me I did a good job. I'm looking for you to tell me every fucking thing I did wrong with that. That's what makes you good.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that was fucking insane trying to go from telling whoever that their drawing sucks to then telling some college student that they're doing such a great job when it's horrible.
It was tough to candy coat it, and I found myself just like taking a deep breath, like, like, okay, how am I going to word this and not come off like a total asshole? And then on top of that, when I would tell people, like give them their critique for the day, they would kind of like whine or make like a sad face that like if they make the saddest face ever, then they don't have to correct that part. And I was like, God, what are you here for if you're not trying to like learn or get better? And I think for me, I'm used to more of like an aggressive like attack of trying to get better, and like, you know, because we're doing stuff permanently on people's bodies, and if we're gonna get a second opinion, we want it to make sure it's, you know, good to go out the door.
Yeah.
But it was tough, and I enjoyed it for a time, and I thought for once that I was gonna have like a painting studio of my own. But it was a good opportunity for me to just give it a shot and see how I would like it. And I guess it wasn't for me.
How long did you do that for?
The teaching?
Yeah.
I think off and on since like 2006 to... When did I start working here? 2013, 14?
Yeah, something like that. If I remember correctly, you were still doing it. Remember your car got broken into at the conference?
Oh, yeah. That's another story. but I started teaching in Italy as like a part-time thing because I was in an academy over there, like a painting, like classical painting academy. And while I was studying, they asked me to teach like the lower students, and I enjoyed it then.
That's wild.
And so, I mean, it was really just like I was 2 years ahead of the people who just came in. So I was just passing on what I had just learned to these people. Right. And then when I moved back to the States, I was still looking for some sort of academy because I still like to learn and still like to draw from the figure. And I can't afford to pay like a nude figure to pose for me for like a 5-week pose,
right,
just out of my own pocket. So it was better to do it in a group. And then eventually they asked me to teach.
How much are you offering?
What do you mean? Like
for me to pose nudes for you?
Oh, I don't know. We could work out
My
a trade.
prices are really cheap.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
There's a lot to paint. There's a lot to see.
You painted them then.
How are you with painting human hair?
William Jackman has it. He likes taking off his shirt. He likes showing his pecs. He's like, oh, look, there goes Willie. He got his shirt off.
It's only funny if you're fat. Like, if you're fucking super ripped, it's super douchey. But I think if you're like, have a huge beer gut like me, I think it's hilarious when you take your shirt off.
We had one model, I remember. He was the weirdest dude. And he shaved his body from eyebrows to toenails. But he still had this like weird kind of comb over hairdo.
Right.
But super bizarre. And what happened was when he would pose, he would have baby powder, talcum powder, all over his body. And one of these days, like, he was the type of model that during the break, he would just get up and not put his bathrobe on and just walk around the room all nude.
Oh, wow.
So during the break, he goes to the bathroom, takes a leak, doesn't shake enough, and all the talcum powder creates this like river down his leg. And so like the next time he got up, he was just like, you just see like the pea strands going down his leg.
Holy shit.
You want to smoke a cigarette?
Yeah. Smoke break.
All
right, we're back from our smoke break. That was
an adventurous smoke break.
Yeah, that was a little crazy thing going on outside.
We saw the dead rise. So for people that don't know, or for the listeners in podcast land, our shop is in a pretty busy part. It's like what I would call like the equivalent of like maybe Hollywood Boulevard or South Beach or like St. Mark's. It's probably the busiest area in Boston for nightlife and whatnot. And there's always some craziness going on, especially at night. So you'll hear crap in the background. You'll hear music. We saw women trying to take selfies of themselves to music. They spent 20 minutes of that in the car trying to do that. And we thought we saw a dead man outside. But the minute he rose like the dead and just walked away.
I guess he was taking a nap, but it took the police and the paramedics to wake him up.
Not a nap. A man was comatose. He just rose up like Jesus is like, I'm out.
But I'm surprised that they just let him walk away. As soon as he was on his feet, they were like, all right, our job's done here.
The complexities of the legal system. That man was dead a minute ago. I just let him walk away.
I'm pretty sure one of the paramedics like kicked him in the leg to see. I was like, did he just kick that dude? He's already down.
By my house, I was driving by, and it was like about 10:30, and I look to the left of me to a bus stop, and there was a man passed out under the chair of the bus stop. I thought he got knocked out because his stuff was like, he had like a grocery bag, with him the whole night. So I thought somebody came out and knocked him out. I made the U-turn. I come out. He had a welt on his head. So I was like, oh man, somebody lumped this guy in. It turns out it wasn't that he got lumped in. It's that I guess while he was waiting for the bus with his groceries, he decided to down a fifth of vodka and fell face first to the ground, thus giving himself this giant welt. And he was snoring. He was like, he seemed in a very peaceful state. So when I had to call the cops, I think I ruined his buzz because he did the same thing. He got up, took his groceries, and walked away with a big bloody welt to his head. And they're like, well, we can't do anything.
Fuck, man. Being drunk makes you impervious to a lot of shit. There was I think last week I got home and like my roommate was out on the porch because I go out at night. We're on a second story. And there was just a dude. It was like raining. It was pouring. And there was just a dude passed out on top of a Jeep, like across the street from my house. And so we were like yelling at him to see if the dude was okay. And he was there for probably, like he was moving around. He was obviously like alive and just really hammered. And like 20 minutes later, he got up and he was like, fuck, man. Oh, I'm sorry. Is this your car? Like, I don't know how I got up here. And just walked away, and it was fine.
In the back alley, you'll see that. We used to have gypsies living in the back alley.
Ooh,
remember the gypsies?
They even had cable television.
They made a compound of their vehicles. And they had plastic, the whole nine. They had, so when it would rain, they had a TV set up outside of their car. They slept in their car.
It was huge. It wasn't small.
And they would run the electricity through one of these businesses. And it would be raining, and they'd have like tarps over the TV, and they'll be sitting there, like 6 of them in like a Cadillac, and they're eating canned food, and they're just sitting there just doing their fucking thing. It was a family of gypsies. Man. And it wasn't like, it's not like little kids. Like, these were like full grown adults, and they you could tell they all had issues, but it was like a family of straight up gypsies hanging out in the back of the shop for like a month.
That's wild.
I didn't mind them so much because at least I knew my car was okay.
Right.
And if shit happened to the car, I knew who to ask. Like, can I have my shit back, please?
Yeah. That's like, if you get to know, I think every tattoo shop has some kind of people that are around a lot, be it homeless people or local thugs or whoever, like kids or gypsies in vans in the back. That like so long as you're kind of cool with them, and then you know that they're watching to make sure that no one robs your shit. Because then they'll be super anxious to come and be like, hey, I saw somebody weird like hanging out. Because then you can be like, hey man, here's a cigarette. Thank you so much for telling me that.
Yeah, the alley's a treasure trove of like stories and crazy shit. Who would think that in between these 3 walls there would be so much like wackiness happening? And we can't tell you how many people back there have just been passed out. If I'm remembering correctly, somebody found somebody back there passed out with the poke still in their arm.
No
just like
shit.
Out.
God damn.
All kinds of vagrancies. And I think it seems like for the most part, every tattoo shop has that element.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's always a back
But that's
alley.
what I was talking about, though, is that shit's going away. Like, you have people, there's like 2 or 3 year tattooers out there now that have never experienced any of that. They live in a super safe fucking place, and they tattoo in this artsy little thing where no one ever tells them they're wrong, and it's just they've never, like I said, I caught like maybe a fraction of how it used to be, but it's still modern. A lot of newer generations of tattooers, they don't know difficulty in it, man. It's weird. It's like not even just in their apprenticeships, because some of them didn't even fucking have one, or whatever. Not that you need to have I mean, obviously there's exceptions to that. There's people that fucking are amazing, that are self-taught and were so good at drawing that they fucking got around people that were super good, and now they're super sick. Obviously the correct way that to steer people towards is fucking learning under somebody. But all of us did, even if you just were super sick at drawing or painting or whatever, and then you got around someone that showed you the ropes. But there are people now that it's like they're learning off social media. They're learning off fucking YouTube or whatever, and they're not good, but they'll never be around someone to tell them. They'll never be around someone that will tell them how bad they are. And they don't, even if they wouldn't want to hear it. It's very safe. It's very like, it's not crazy. It's not fucking cool.
But I don't usually like to spend my time thinking about those people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a waste.
Yeah.
It's a waste of time.
It's an
it doesn't
observation
matter.
of the status or the state of, I guess, what you would say would be modern tattooing.
Yeah. And I mean, there's exceptions to that for sure too. Dude, one of my best buds that is now in Portland with Luke Davis at Fort Loyal. Justin, that dude has been tattooing for maybe a third of the time that I've been tattooing, and I think he's way better than me because he fucking works his ass off. He had a good apprenticeship, and he cares. He cares about tattooing. There will always be exceptions. There will always be people that care and work really hard and do it the right way. And it shows. It shows in their fucking work.
Do you think that griminess that you experience and some other folks experience, do you think that griminess is kind of like something that's like a missing recipe in making a full-rounded tattooer, or do you think that it's something you could work around?
To a degree, I do think it is part of the recipe for multiple reasons. For one, and I will preface all of this with, what the fuck do I know?
Disclaimer.
Yeah,
what the
I'm
fuck
just
do I know?
barely, like, there are definitely days where I still think I don't know my elbow from my asshole, and that's fine. I'm still trying. But two things that I think are very important for what you're saying is a good, well-rounded tattooer is, one, the ideal that you do whatever the fuck comes in the door. Like, there are things that are impossible, and that's totally fine. There are things that I cannot do. It doesn't matter if I'm the greatest tattooer in the world or the worst. I can't do this and make it look good. But with those few exceptions, like when somebody comes in and wants something in black and gray, you fucking sit down, and even if you suck at black and gray at the time, you do it and you try to get better at it. And that is something that it does seem like people are trying to be like, oh, I do this, and this is all I do. And they do that because they see older dudes do that, but older dudes doing that earned the right to do that. They're just so good at the thing that so if you are the traditional guy or the Japanese guy or whatever, and you're so fucking sick at Japanese, you can be doing bodysuits all day because you did everything else and you know what you're doing and you're good at it. Brian MacNeil. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many times have you done infinity symbols? And
I still do infinity symbols.
Fuck yeah, man, because that's what makes you a tattooer, is just understanding the ideal that you are still providing a service for someone. And if they want something and you can make it look good, you do it.
Edwin and I used to call ourselves the skeleton crew because we would be, working on our appointments during the day, and then, at the end of the night, we'd always get like an influx of walk-ins, and so Edwin and I would just hunker down and just get them all done. And
that's tattooing, man. I love that. I love that aspect of tattooing.
My lady hates me for it because I'm like getting home at like midnight.
They always do.
They always do.
If my beloved was here to tell you about many a times that she's been aggravated at the fact that I'm walking in at this time of the night because I've been tattooing or something like that. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure she appreciates the fact that her husband is a contributing member of society.
Yeah, totally.
But also doesn't appreciate the fact that it's already the next day and I'm just walking in through a door from work. It's a sailor's life, I think.
It absolutely is, man.
It's a sailor's life, and I think only other I was going to say seamen, but that's not where I want to go with that. That kind of.
I think other seamen experience that as well.
Other gentlemen of the ocean would appreciate that and can understand that, because you end up selling your soul to this thing. You sell it. That's it. It's done.
And it's sick. It's the sickest thing you'll ever sell your soul to.
Final question.
Final question.
Well, not final question, but I'm saying
final countdown.
Final countdown.
Since this is about tattooing, we might as well give you a flash challenge.
Fuck.
You ready?
I'm really bad at being
put you on the spot. We're gonna put you on the spot and have you answer just right off the top of your dome questions for Adoring Public, and then let them go on your Instagram, which is
It's just at William Jackman.
You can go to at William Jackman and totally troll him if you disagree with anything that he says.
Please definitely do.
Blow up his Instagram, get him doxxed. We can get him put up in the list with Alex
Shadow
Jones
ban.
for his bullshit answers he's about to give. You ready?
Okay.
All right. Your 3 favorite tattooers.
3 favorite tattooers are, I think everybody's favorite tattooer that tattoos like me is probably Sailor Jerry. Are we talking about dead? We're talking about dead, right?
Your 3 favorite. Dead or alive?
I'm going to give dead, and then I'm going to give 3 favorite alive.
All right.
So 3 favorite dead are fucking Jerry, Pinky, and Cap. 3 favorite alive, Edwin Marquez. No, that's not true. I love you though. I do.
You're just trying to blow me because I cleaned your booth, your new booth.
We still gotta clean. Yeah. It changes. The alive changes constantly. I usually go back to fucking everybody at Rock of Ages. Is fucking my jam. So probably fucking the people that I look at the most to see if I'm doing something wrong is probably Tony Hundal, Chris O'Donnell, and then the third fluctuates constantly. American tattooers, maybe fucking, oh God, Steve Burnsick, but everybody knows Steve Burnsick.
Formidable list.
But then, yeah, I can't even pick. I'd scratch that list. Just stick with the dead ones.
All right. Nib or brush?
Fucking nib.
Boom.
I know.
Brush all the way.
I know.
Yeah, this is a brush man.
I just started nibbing. I fucking did it the lazy man's way and did fucking microns and shit for years until
Boom.
I know.
Everyone did.
And then fucking
I
when
tried it and then
started-
I threw it away right away.
When I started
everybody
at
used
Hidden-
Sharpies because it would be the perfect thing to line paintings with. But the dream dies fast.
It dies
with
fast.
the Sharpie.
Yeah.
when I
it
first
comes
started at
brown.
Hidden, fucking Nick was like, "Don't fucking do that in my shop."
What, the Sharpie or the?
No, the fucking microns.
Micron.
He was like, "You fucking nib flash here."
I have a newfound respect for him.
Yeah. Oh no, he's sick. Yeah, he was like, "Don't. If you're gonna put flash on the walls, it can't be in that. You have to do a nib." I was like,
love that.
"Okay, fine, fuck." I'd never used a nib before, so I fucking learned. It's fun. It's actually it's sick.
Yeah.
I've done like small stuff. Obviously, nothing prolific as you with a brush, but like nib's pretty. I can nib how I tattoo, which is very aggressively and sloppily.
Yeah. I like the brush. I mean, I learned from VJ Betts. I used to work with him like every Tuesday in Philadelphia.
Oh shit, that's fucking awesome.
And every Tuesday he was working on a different painting, and he did everything with the brush. And so by the time like I like warmed up to him, he was like kind of showing me stuff. But in the beginning he was like, "Get the fuck away from me."
Yeah.
And then after a while he's like, "Oh, okay, like do it this way, do it that way."
I feel like I have to fucking clarify a thing that I said earlier about New Englanders.
Oh, yeah.
Now that you say that about when you were first talking to him, which is also just a tattooer thing of just like fuck off and get off my lawn until I know you're cool.
Yeah.
Which is sick. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
But I have noticed, we kind of touched on that earlier, but like New Englanders, it's been a very cool thing as far as the goodness of people. Like I was saying about trying to be nice, because I think it's good. I want to be good to people. And I think it's very fucking cool about New Englanders that some of them are like seemingly upfront, like the rudest fucking people I've ever met. And they're also like the kindest and fucking, they're genuinely good people. So like on that, the goodness comes in many forms. Even if you're fucking super salty, you can still be fucking awesome. I've found that a lot out here.
Hot press or cold press?
I mean, do you want your paintings to look good?
Hot press or cold press? Oh, I see where that. I see where that went.
So, hot press is the fucking super textury one, right?
No.
Cold press.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. I told you I don't know shit. Cold press. The green
Yay,
one. The green one. Not hot press. The hot press is the fucking smooth one, right?
Yeah,
I can't paint on that for shit. I've only tried it a few times.
That's my jam.
I like my paint to eventually dry on the paper, so that's why I use the cold press.
Overrated.
Yeah.
We need them to dry. We could work them. Cool. I don't know. Do you have any other questions for this?
Gouache or liquid acrylic?
Liquid acrylic.
Damn.
Boom. I agree with that.
Yeah, I like liquid. I actually
Only because I've never used gouache.
Yeah, I've been using it for mistakes. The gouache.
Oh shit! It's like the old colored pencil trick.
Yeah, like we can go over this with this opaque color, but yeah, I love this messing around with different materials and techniques. Yeah. But I don't like Edwin's techniques.
You shouldn't. I do everything horribly wrong.
Horribly wrong. Hot press.
I like to be contrary to everybody else.
But you do that so you can line with the microns, right?
I don't line with microns. I line with those
Sharpies.
No, with those Coptic things, like the ones that these fucking guys all ordered. And I saw it there. I was like, all right, I'll use that. And then I also use nib. I'm a nibber.
Nib's the way.
I'm a nibbler. I enjoy a good nib.
Yeah. A good nibbing.
Yeah, I enjoy a good nib, and those pens that have like the India ink in them, whatever they're called, like the Coptic and stuff like that. I get it. It's not I understand the school of thought of like if you line it with a pen or any form of pen that it's not really a painting. I get it, but I don't know. I'm not trying to paint a painting. I'm trying to fucking make flash, or I'm trying to do something traditional.
So at the end of the day, it's you're making a design that's tattooable, and that's what matters. Yeah. I think I'm just a sucker for being told I'm doing something wrong and I should change it because I deep down super fucking love that. So then I get to be like, yo, you're doing this wrong. You should change
Pass the shame to others.
I get to shame someone else.
We should just tell him he's doing shit wrong and then we correct somebody.
Then I'll just constantly be doing it different.
Fuck with him.
Very masochistic.
That's terrible. I'm a sucker for being told I'm wrong.
Damn. But you're right. You're okay.
Thanks,
you do you because you make the better paintings that way. But should we wrap it up? We've been trying to leave.
Fuck.
So let's wrap it up.
Yes.
William Jackman. Did we already talk about your Instagram?
Yes, he's gonna get trolled. Remember?
Oh yeah, troll me
because I said the wrong paper type.
There's horrible, wrong choices.
And my friend, my compadre, Edwin Marquez.
With me. And can we talk about William's voice?
Oh, yeah. We all think that William should be on the radio more often. He has
like Phil Hartman's
voice. He has this, his smoky, like ashy voice.
It's from actually smoking.
Cancer does have its benefits.
That's right. Thank you guys very much for having me.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it.
Thanks for putting up with us.
Brian's leaving to Denmark, so I don't know what
I'm leaving tomorrow.
Brian's gonna do this all by himself, interviewing the European guys, and Ragu's gonna be there with him. And I'm sad that this is the last thing I'm gonna do with you until you come back. If this is still going, hopefully we'll do more.
Hopefully it goes well.
You already got the equipment. You might as well just use it.
Yeah, we're gonna use it. It's an experiment. I have a couple of cool guests on my mind, and the whole idea of this was working at Royal, we have a lot of great guest artists, and it would be a shame not to chat with them and maybe pick their brains. And for me, it's a good learning experience, and when people are on the spot, they might open up a little bit more than they would normally. So we'll see how the experiment goes. If no one likes it and emails us and says it's wrong, it's stupid, then we'll get rid of it. Hope no one dislikes it so bad where they're
or make the dopest rap. Look at these microphones. You could drop the dopest freestyle with these microphones. Everyone can rap through these things. So also, if we are doing a bad job, just put in an offer to buy these mics. And I'll stop. All right, guys. All right.
Thanks
Peace.
again.
Goodbye.
Love you guys.